Welcome to our archaeological dig in East Yorkshire. Now, it might just look like I'm standing in any old agricultural field, but right beneath my feet are the remains of one of the earliest Roman settlements ever discovered in the region. Now, why is this important? Well, we know that the Romans marched north and established a base at York in AD 71. And we know that within a few decades there were settlements spreading all over the place. But what happened in those intervening years? Just after the forts were established, but before any of the major towns and domestic settlements sprung up. This site, the one that our community of adventurers are helping us to excavate, is the missing link that can help us understand those early decades after the Romans arrived. It's really, really exciting, and I'm going to take you over to the trenches to go and see what's happening and what we've been discovering. Okay, so we are coming up to the trenches now. Hey, Indy! Hello! Welcome to the trench, everyone. This is Indy.
Hello.
She's going to give us a little show around the first area. What have we got in here?
So we're in the west part of the trench and we've got lots of Roman archaeology. So shall I just move around and you'll follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a wall running this way, or at least we have what would have been a wall. This is now full of bits of rubble where at some point in the past they've robbed out all the stones, and then what they didn't want they've just chucked back into the hole that they made, taking out the stones they wanted. But interestingly, when they've done that, they've not completely ruined where there would have been post holes, and you can see we've got two of them that line up with the wall. We've got one that would have been underneath the wall, and we've got one here which is over 1/2 metre deep, and it's not even bottomed.
1/2 metre.
So we had to stop because our arms weren't long enough, and so we don't know how deep it goes, but it's already over 1/2 metre, and that one lines up perfectly with, can you see just up there, there's another circle of stones, which
Yeah, I
show
can
you in a
see
bit.
that. Should we go and have a look?
So here we've got yet another wall which runs parallel to the one that I just showed you, and yet again at the very end of it we've got what looks to be a post hole which lines up with the one that's deep. So we've actually got two really big post holes at the end of these walls, and we've had again Freya and Peter have dug a slot through this, and we haven't managed to perfectly place our slot on this half to line up with a post hole, but we can see that this wall, it looks very similar to one on the other side. So we're currently cleaning that up now to get a nice photo of it. But they're not the only post holes we've had. We've had more. Come and have a look. We've had one. So this would have been inside the building. So in between these two walls, there's this layer of kind of this mixed deposit that's had some finds out of it. And in it we've had a couple of post holes. We've only excavated one. And it's a nice post hole. That one's a normal size post hole. Quite nice vertical sides. So we've had that one, and we've also had another post hole here. Another big one, which was at a later date, it's had a pit cut into the top. So can you see that, like here, there's a darker layer. So this is the pit, which has got all of this burnt material in it, and then that's cut into this, which is a post hole.
And what would these post holes have been in relation to the Roman building that we've got?
Yeah, so we think the ones that are in lines with the walls would probably be some sort of structural support that they'd have built the walls around, or end posts of potentially the wall. The ones on the inside, I'm not so sure. We've identified 3 possible ones, and they all seem to be more or less in this central bit here. So maybe they were supporting something to do with the roof, which would work with the fact that this seems to be the inside surface of the building. But then we've not, or the layers that are built up on the inside, I should say. It's not a surface, I think. And then here we've got a different deposit, which is in between the building we've got in my half of the third of the trench, and then in Chris's third of the trench he's got more, which he'll show you later. But we've got this really dark spread that just goes in between the two walls, and we've not had time to investigate it, which is really sad, but it looks really interesting. So I guess if we ever come back again, we'll stick a slot through it.
I really hope we do. There's so many fascinating bits of building here, and it looks like they might even extend well beyond the edge of the trench.
Oh,
This is
definitely. I
just
mean,
a
that
little
one
bit.
just goes literally, we don't even have the full thing, it's in the section edge. Can I show you one thing that's not a building before you leave my bit of the trench?
Oh, absolutely, go
I need-
for it.
It's over where Hannah's. We've got a big Roman pit, which has got lots of
Wow,
bits
hold
of
on, here we go.
CBM in the
Look
very
at
top
that.
layer. And it's
What
had
is
pottery.
CBM?
Ceramic building materials, so bits of tile, maybe roof tile, maybe from the building.
Fantastic. That's a brilliant little view of your part of the trench. Thank you, Indy. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
go off and I'm going to find Chris now to see what's happening in his part of the trench.
Bye.
Bye. Coming into the middle section of the trench now, there is all sorts of other interesting things going on. We can see walls being excavated, huge pits and more post holes, and something quite weird is happening over here. Chris, hello.
Yes. Hello.
What are you doing with that mallet?
I'm trying not to get my fingers knocked. We're taking a sample of what we think might be, maybe a floor surface, possibly even the base of a hearth, something like that. So we're taking a special sample from it so that we can analyse it back in the lab.
What kind of analysis are we going to do, and how do we know it might be a floor surface or her?
Well, there's this baked clay surface. We only have a little bit of it. And there's some burning, so it's been heat affected. It's been heated up to a temperature so that it's changed the structure of the clay. And really, we've taken a sample. We're hoping to get some radiocarbon dates maybe from it. And we can also look at the soil chemistry and the soil micromorphology, so how it's built up over time. And we do that by hammering tins into our nice clean sections.
Can we give it another little whack?
Come on, Rosie.
Beautiful work. I'll leave you to it because it looks like quite a delicate operation.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye. Go on.
Hello, Ben.
Hello!
What are you up to over here?
Well, I have just been taking some photos of the floor surface / hearth feature,
Fantastic.
and I'm about to take some more with the micromorph sample in the section as well.
And why do you take the photos of it?
Well, of the sample in the section, it's important for the specialist to know exactly where the sample came from the feature. So we have a little photographic record of it as well as a drawing, and that way they know exactly where it's from.
I've got a full record of all of the details.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant, that is so exciting. So we've just seen some Roman buildings, we've seen post holes and pits, and we've even seen what might be a hearth from a very early Roman part of the site. But over here we've got something really quite different, and there's Nat, there's the very person I want to show you around. This area of the trench is completely different to the rest of it. We think this layer might be older, even older than the early Roman buildings that we've got in the other part of the trench. So I'm going to bring you all over to Nat and the team to see exactly what is happening over here. Hi Nat.
Oh, hello.
Hello. What are you up to? What's going on over here today?
I'm taking a sample, soil sample for environmental.
And what might that
And-
tell us?
So this is hopefully, we've got this weird organic-y deposit that's just come up in this test pit. And it's a lot more softer than what we've had before.
It's dark,
dark,
isn't
yeah.
it? It's dark and crumbly. So we've been digging test pits into this layer, which we think is much older than the rest of the site. How do we think this bit of the site relates to the Roman buildings?
So we think that this bit of the site is predating the Roman building. It's flooding deposits from the Paleo channel that was over there, and it could help us to understand the earlier people who were living here just before the Romans, so that we have an idea of just the longevity of history in this area.
Fantastic. It's all looking really, really, really good and busy on site. So many different things happening. We've got sieving, we've got digging, we've got sampling. So that's just a little taste of what we've got going on the trenches here in East Yorkshire. But now it's time to actually go and have a look down in the finds room to see some of the things that have actually been discovered in the features that we've just taken a look at. So let's get walking. So here we are outside the finds tent, where we're about to find Edwin, who has been looking after all of the finds this week. Hi Edwin.
Hello.
Hi, I can see you've picked out some beautiful little finds for us to have a quick look at. Can you explain a little bit what we've got here?
Well, we go back to the very earliest. We have a variety of flints. Various stages of being worked or used.
And this mostly comes from the area where Nat and the team were investigating that dark, soft soil.
And one of my favourite pieces is that one, which looks to be a worked flint core. So this is what's left after they've knocked all the flakes and blades off that they wanted.
Beautiful. What else have we got?
Miscellaneous bones, all animal. And then we've got some Iron Age pottery. This is particularly nice because it's got what looks to be the fingerprints of the guy or even woman that made it.
Lovely. I absolutely adore that. There's something so evocative about seeing a potter's thumbprints. What about this lot here?
These are all Roman. These are some very nice bases. And the rim from a very big cooking pot.
Fantastic. I wonder what they were cooking for lunch in there. And what about last but not least? What
Last
is
but not least.
this piece here?
This, we believe, is an amphora, or what's left of it. This is the outside face of it. And then you can see the ridging on the inside where the clay rings and that were laid down to make it.
Fantastic. What a glimpse of the finds. They give us a real nice overview of everything that we've found on site in the last few days. Thank you so much, Edwin.
You're welcome.
That's it from me, and that's it from Edwin. Massive thank you to all of our venturers who have been involved. And that's it from the rest of the team out in the field. Bye.